What is up, traders, and welcome back to Uplift Markets. Today we'll be talking about Tesla, which just bounced hard after earnings and is now seeing a possible upside reversal move. Now, the true question is now the time to buy Tesla, or is this just another bull trap in development? Between Elon Musk's renewed focus, technical momentum building, and a surprisingly optimistic investor response, there's a lot to unpack. Let's break down the chart, the news, and what comes next for Tesla. Let's start with what's been making the waves. In Tesla's most recent earnings call, CEO Elon Musk made it crystal clear that he's recommitting himself fully to Tesla. Musk stated that he expects to spend less time in Washington, D.C., where he had taken a satirical post as head of the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency, aka DOGE. Now, the Tesla board also denied reports this week that they were looking for a new CEO. These rumors have been completely shut down, and this came after Wedbush Dan Ives reaffirmed what many bulls have been hoping for. The Musk decision to double down on Tesla shows a renewed confidence in the company's next growth chapter. Ives pointed out that the pressure has been mounting, especially from competitors like BYD, and investors want Elon locked into Tesla more than ever and not distracted. So with Musk recommitting, the rumors squashed, and big names like Wedbush backing the rebound, the sentiment is quickly shifting, and that is reflected in the chart. Now, let's talk about the setup. As we can see, we are on a daily chart of Tesla. You may be asking, why a daily chart? Well, that is because there's more confluence, and that is because there's more meaning on longer term timeframes than a 5-minute or 15-minute chart, as per se. And what we can see here is the longer term trend. And in this case, it has been a downside move, as we can see, from the highs of around 477 to the recent bounce that we've seen, the bottom of around 220, that is more than 50% towards the downside. Now, you may be asking, why do you see a reversal here? Well, this is the reason. This line right here represents the 50 EMA. The 50 exponential moving average, which smooths out the price action, and we are now finally above it. For quite a while, it's been approximately 5 days but we've been above it. On other prior days when we were declining, we were definitely below that, and that showed the bearish sentiment. But there were individuals that came in at that low of 218 and in a way agitated the sellers who were pretty much aggressive from that 470 high. And what we can do now is, okay, well, these sellers that came in obviously are important to measure, so why don't we plot an anchored VWAP from that high right here and get a general overview of the average entry price of those participants. And as we can see, their average price was $300, right? And this is very important because this is a very psychological level. It's a flat $300 level. And what this means is that they entered on average of 300, right? We would like to see, for the bullish momentum, a break above this anchored VWAP, like so, and a higher high forming above that, showing that decisively we moved above it, we broke above it. Not only did we break, but we held and we pulsed higher, showing that the buyers came in with that confidence. We can also see that's what's supporting this bullish case is that if we measure, okay, the buyers that were here, let's measure their average entry price, and it's around 257. What does this tell us? That the average buyers that came in that made this low, right? There's no incident here. We found support 3 times. There's a reason behind that. So it's important to measure the average entry price of those participants, right? And we see that the level was around 255. And what we did was we rallied, we pulled back, we formed a higher low, and now we are experiencing the bullish movement towards the upside, right? So right now, it's a battle between the buyers here and the sellers. And once this breaks, the price action breaks above the swing high anchor VWAP, these sellers have like gotten control because we would be above it, right? So what I would expect for Tesla, in order to be bullish the name, you would need to have a breakout candle like this, a couple candles holding above this level, showing that the sellers are not intense enough to bring the price back down, and lastly, a propulsor candle, which shows that the movement is now towards the upside. My stop loss would be placed at the most recent and relevant higher low, following the trend structure of around 270, and more risk would be at this low of 224. Now, what are the price targets, you may be asking? Well, we can simply calculate this using Fibonacci retracements. We can do is measure the pullback, basically the high, all here from the bounce, and see where we get overextended, right? So the first price target is, I believe firmly, that we can challenge the highs of 474, and now the next, I say, price target 2 would be this level of approximately $639. That would be where we get overextended, and obviously this depends on the macro conditions and the overall investor sentiment, but these are levels to look out for, right? The 474 and 640 for profit taking, right? These are potential moves that could happen in the stock. Now, we also have the bearish case, right? If there's negative sentiment, and for example, we have something going on with Elon Musk or the Trump administration, then what would happen here is that if the buyers that came in here fail to hold their levels and the sellers do come in aggressively, and we have this type of pattern, right, then it would be a continuation towards the downside. But right now, after seeing this intense rally in the market and the overall triple Qs, the NASDAQ, the SPY, I firmly believe that the investor sentiment is now shifting, and we're seeing that the tariff stuff like that is kind of priced in, and we're now starting to, institutions are starting to buy the dips, right? And I believe Tesla is one that many institutions are looking out, and they're seeing, anticipated growth, and especially now with Elon Musk, getting away from Doge is more of a tailwind for them, right? So apart from that, we're seeing also as well a series of higher lows forming and basically showing that demand is building. Additionally, the volume has increased since this low that we had, and it clearly shows the buying momentum. And as we can see, we're noting a pattern, right? Is the bullish momentum increasing? And it has been, which is important for our bullish thesis. So here is my take. With Elon Musk locked in on Tesla, investor sentiment and optimism returning on the stock, and a clean chart setup that the traders and institutional money is looking for, Tesla could be setting up for a bigger move than many expect. I'll be watching the break of the $300 level over the next couple of weeks, and if we get that with intense volume, it is a textbook swing opportunity. As always, if you found value in this video, please feel free to subscribe, give it a like, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to the Uplift Markets newsletter, which I send weekly AI scanned swing setups, macro updates, and momentum watch lists, all for free. The link is in the description. As always, be careful, take care, and don't let the market whip you guys out. I'll see you guys in the next one.